freezing, you guys. We gotta build a fire. Let's go to all messages. That's my actual nipple. Jesus. I was like, what is that? No, that's me. I was like, nah, that's not that. That's not what that is. It was. Hold on, I need to. Let's make this taller. Go higher. Ooh. Legs are in a weird spot. Still pretty short. I guess I can move this part. I got way more in the legs, but I don't want to do that. Right. Need my gloves. Those put up. Then we got to drag this cart out of here. Ooh, it's kind of stuck to the floor. Nope. No Terry's out here. Charlie is losing his shit. It is so cold, you guys. It's got to be like 20. It's 20 degrees probably, maybe 25. It's just not really snowing a lot. You guys settle down. It is icy out here. You can see my driveway. It's pretty slick. Back here in the woodshed. Some wood. Need to split a lot of this shit. I also need to get a lot of it from back there. Because this is all old. I need to burn it. Might burn it in my fire ring though. real big. Oh my God, are people showing up? What's up, you guys? We're trying to get some wood in. I need to get my maul. Charlie, settle down. I'm right here, bud. I live in Montana, where it's cold. Do I have problems with mice going into the wood? Let me show you the situation here. So, I did put some straw out here because there's deer that wander the neighborhood. What's up, bunch of pixels? And it gets really freaking cold out here. And so, I imagine on occasion, sometimes the deer do make their way in here and kind of use this as shelter. But there's probably mice as well, but I don't really care. You know, I put this straw in here for the animals. But I've also got some outside cats, and they use that little door right there to get in and out of the actual garage. So sometimes my cats might be hanging out here in the woodshed, and they do like to go after the mice. So yeah, I've got cats and dogs. Here's my little Charlie. Charlie, hey, you're not looking like my dog. There's Molly. She's like, what are we barking at? What are we barking at? And there's Smokey. She's like, what are we barking at? Charlie, are you just pissed off that you can't come out here? Okay. Okay. He's mad. He's mad. Poor little Charlie. Yeah, he's like, come in the yard, I dare you. Look, you know, sometimes a piece of wood has like this weird center ring. And I actually knocked this piece. This was the center of a round of wood that I knocked right out. So this was inside of a really big block of wood. And it looks like a whole other block of wood. But it's like, I don't know if I could find another one. It's crazy that came out though. Yeah, probably not. I'd need a full round. I don't even know how I got that one. It was like the round had split around that, I guess, and then it was just sitting there and I knocked it out. It might make a good rolling pin. It's really, really pitchy though. Like it is, but I could probably sand that down maybe, and you know, it's not quite long enough. He tried to get me. Try to get most of this bark off. A lot of it will like come off in the heat. Like if you bring this piece inside and let it sit there for about a day, it'll kind of swell up, and then this bark will just pop right off. That was close. Maybe the maul isn't the right tool for this job. Probably enough. Any more than that on the cart, I'll lose a piece. I gotta go put this back. Watch out, Charlie Butt. Here it comes. No. Settle down. Do you ever have to buy the wood? Some years. But that was before I bought myself a chainsaw. Yeah, I think it's like 25, maybe. I'm not sure. It's frickin' cold. All right. Let's get the cart and get it in the house. Back in my younger years, I'd put about 4 or 5 pieces of wood in my arms and then take about 4 or 5 trips into the house. But now, I'm a cart man. I just use the cart. Actually, this part's a little tricky. Back into the house where it's nice and warm. Ugh. So cold out there, my nose is kind of running. Oh, yeah. All right. First thing, well, I do have a little bit of kindling that I split the last time. So that's good. I might need a little bit more. I'll use these pieces that have been in here a while. Well, one anyway. Use this piece. Here's my chopping block. I need a lighter. Shit, I walked right past it. I walked right by it. All right. Now we gotta start this puppy and go get the puppy from outside. Lighters always be hiding. Yep. Right, you guys are down here with me now. I'm gonna open this up. Wait. There's the fire. Now that I went and did all that wood chopping and whatever, I'm real warm. I don't think I need a fire, but I do. All right. Like that. Some little chunks of wood, I kind of jam the littlest pieces of wood into the bag. Where you got a piece like this, you know, with little chunks hanging off, you just start pulling off all the little pieces. Drop them in there first. They're gonna get going burning way first, you know, way before any of this bigger shit. Any little chunks that flew off in the splitting process. I even kind of would go around, I'll go around and sweep the floor and get a lot of this little stuff and just throw it in there with the dustpan. But yeah, now that we got some of the little stuff in, we'll start throwing some of these. These are still really small pieces of kindling. Well, that one's not. Go with that one later. And it doesn't have to be any exact pattern. You just want there to be gaps, you know, so that the air can flow through this. Don't make it like a super tight structure in there, you know. Make it spread out, and put your sticks in as many different directions off the bag as you can. And like that. And then like that. Like that. Let me see if you guys see in there. Got my little grocery bag. And I got my pile up of steaks. I just lit the fire. And you know it's actually warming up when this fan right here starts turning, because it just turns off of heat. There we go. I was like, what the hell's going on with my tripod? It's fine. Maybe. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Yep. It doesn't have a battery. I think the heat just running up through it somehow causes some sort of expansion of metal in there or something, you know, and it just starts working after there's enough warmth. Right now, the stove is real cold. It does not push a lot of air, no. You can kind of feel it if you stick your hand in front of it when it's blowing, but it doesn't feel like it, you know. Like if you're sitting across the room from it, you're not gonna notice. But any little bit of airflow helps, right? Like I'm sure it's helping somewhat to circulate the air throughout the house. Sometimes it'll knock a little bit, right? Like it'll just twitch, and then all of a sudden it'll start spinning. Just gotta watch it. And once this gets going fairly good, I've got some, when I was cutting up the kindling, that piece of wood I started chopping on, I had some pieces that I kept what I consider medium sized, right? Like if you take a quarter round of wood and split it into about 3 pieces, you get about 3 chunks like this size. And so when you first build your fire, you got your kindling, which is just little tiny shit. Once that gets going, you want to put a couple medium-sized pieces on there. And then once those start burning, you can start putting actual quarter rounds on, and then the fire is just going from there. Yikes. The flame licked me. I guess I was playing with the fire because I got burned. Sorry. It didn't even burn me, dude. I'm fine. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I could feel the cold this morning. I woke up and I was like, hell no, I'm building a fire. Plus my plants, you know, I've got a lot of like tropical plants in the house. They kind of need it to stay above like 70 probably, or they'll die. Your grandpa used to have one of those blowers that you would pump air into the fire. Oh yeah. They're like a small bellows. Look, I just do it with my face. Callie thinks I'm like a fire breather or something. I think it's going. Sometimes you get little embers come flying out of there. Fire is shooting at us, you guys. Yeah, I don't want to lose the beard. Come on, fan. I command you to turn. Do it now, fan. Do it now. It's like, nah, I don't want it. Oh, wait. You guys will miss the action. Come on, fan. Come on, fan. What's up, Pete? The fire is doing something weird with my camera. Like right in the center of the video, it looks bizarre. Like the fire itself is like reflecting inside the walls of the camera or something. And the fan still is not turning. This is freaking me out. I guess so. There must be no heat in this stove right now. Oh shit. It's that fucking static electricity in my ass. Yeah, it's not that hot yet. But that is a lot of what provides you warmth in something like this, right? Is the stove itself is a huge hunk of iron. And once you warm that sucker up, that's what I think is a lot of the heat that you get from the stove is just that. Because even for hours after the fire has went out, you can come over and stand next to the stove and it'll be warming your butt. Yeah, probably right over the top. Like that part that I touched is kind of the overhanging lip, so it's not really directly over the heat. But the heat should transfer soon because it's steel, you know. Didn't take much. Come on, fire. That thing took off though, you guys. That's a good little fire already. It's trying to get off the stove though. Oh shit, the fan went while I was fucking around. I didn't even get to see it start. I don't know if you guys did because my fat head might have been in the way. You seen it happen? It just takes off. Hell yeah. Yeah, because I can see on camera that it looks like it's almost spinning kind of slow, but it's not. It's fucking hauling ass. It's also not really dangerous or anything. Like you can stop it. It doesn't, you know, it won't do anything. Yeah, it almost looks like there's two sets of blades going the opposite direction of each other. Can't get too close to the heat. I'm gonna stop it and get it going again. Ooh, it zapped me. A little static electricity off the blade as I stopped it. Now you see how it looks like it started going the other direction there for a second? Like it started spinning the one way, but then for like a couple seconds, it looked like it started spinning the opposite direction. I think that's what the whole universe is doing, man. Yeah. Yeah, that serves that fucker right too. I saw that shit what he did yesterday, and that's so gross. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by the Democrats doing that. I don't think I'm really surprised by Don Lemon doing that either, because he's going to try to farm content off of anything he can. It's funny how he's tried to become a streamer now. Like, imagine being this big network fucking anchor on CNN, and then you completely fall to the point where you're basically doing what I'm doing. Like, come on, Don. I still can't believe he didn't go to jail for walking up to that guy in that bar, putting his hand down into his taint, and then pulling it up and he stuck his fingers right under the guy's nose like this and said, "What do you want, pussy or dick?" I don't know how he didn't go to jail for that shit, or at least get his ass knocked out. Should have had his ass knocked out. Dude, there's this other guy too that the main protester that went into that church. He's the woke farmer or something like that. He needs to go too, because he's been out there at that protest for the last like at least a week here, basically calling for the deaths of ICE and telling them that they're all gonna die and go to prison and all this crazy shit. Like it's all the craziest shit you've ever heard anybody say coming out that guy's mouth. Yeah, I hope so. I hope they all do, because you're not allowed to impede somebody else's constitutional rights while carrying out your constitutional rights. And that is specific to churches. You're not allowed to enter a church and interrupt the worship service in the midst of a protest. I think it's called the FACE Act. I don't know the exact law, but I saw people tossing it around. I don't know much about the FACE Act, so I don't know when it was established or what it means, but yep. Well, and they went into that church because they think one of the pastors works for ICE or is working with ICE. We're at that point with these people where if they think you're ICE or if they think you're working with ICE, they're going to seek you out and try to kill you. That's what they're doing. And they're saying that ICE is going around and just rounding people up and killing them by the thousands right now. That's what they're saying. I'm just like, show me anyone other than Renee, who, was a fucking terrorist, but show me anyone. Show me. Yeah, I'll look it up, dude. I don't need the lesson or anything. I just, if one of you guys knew like anything, about it, you could throw it out there, but you don't need to like copy and paste that shit, because you're probably right. They probably would fucking boot you off here. Like, it's just crazy, I asked this guy this morning, I'm like, so what is it then? Because I said it's terrorism, what Renee did, and he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, okay, so if I go to a class that specifically teaches me how to go and harass and obstruct fucking, let's say, the FBI, and then I go out and I find FBI agents that are trying to do their job, and I get in their fucking way and start fucking with them, what do you think they're going to do? And then I just decide, you know what, I'm leaving. Or better yet, when I came home from Iraq in 2003, when we first got off, so I was on an LAV 25, and we were dropped off right there on the beach by the Navy, right? Because we rode on the big hovercrafts. And so when I first got back to the United States of America, it was Onslow Beach in North Carolina, right there outside of the base, right? We're pretty much in the base, but on the edge of it, on the water. Before my feet even touched the fucking ground on the continent of North America, we rolled up onto the beach, and right there waiting for us was ICE, Custom Enforcement. They were there waiting for us, and they had to search our shit. Us active duty United States Marines. Uh-oh. Now all of a sudden we're getting stopped. And we got to get searched. But you know what? I just want to go home. I've been out in the desert for 6 months. I've done all this crazy shit. I just want to go home. Leave me alone, ICE. No, actually, we stopped because if we wouldn't have, they probably would have had grounds to at least court-martial our asses. And I wouldn't be surprised if my own commander wouldn't have fucking shot me in my head if I would have tried to run one of them over. But that's what's crazy to me is these leftoids are out here acting like ICE has no authority. And I'm sitting there scratching my head like, then why did they have the authority to search me when I was in the active duty Marine Corps? Like, these people act like ICE is this new thing, like it's Trump's new fucking police force or some shit. And they've been doing this shit for 20, maybe 30 years. The difference is, like when Obama was in office, when Trump was in office his first term, when Biden was in office, when Immigration Custom Enforcement wants to remove people from the country, they go to the jails. The jails say, yeah, we picked up a guy and he doesn't seem to be from here. You want to interview him? And they say, yeah, let's interview him. Then they find out, yeah, he's definitely not from here. We're going to have to remove him from the country. And then they would do that. That's how they would do it. They would go to the jails. They would get the criminals from the jails, and they would get them the fuck out. And that's how Obama was able to deport millions of people. Well, this time around, when Trump gets into office, the Democrats in their Democrat-ran states and cities decided they're not going to let ICE go into the jail. They're not going to let them go where the criminals are. So basically what the Democrats were hoping is that it would just be like, they could just say, base, and then nothing would happen. Oh, guess what? You can't come get them because you can't come get them. Well, come and find out. Yeah, actually, we can go and fucking get them. And so that's the whole problem, right? Like in Minnesota, had Tim Walz and that Jacob Frey guy just allowed their police to work with ICE from the beginning, they wouldn't have had to go do it roundup style. They would have just went to the jails like they've always done. But, you know, the Democrats want to make a crisis, just like this whole thing was made by them. Who let all these people in here? Who did it? You know, and the whole time they were leaving the border wide open, what did we tell them the whole time? That it's fucked up. There's way too many fucking people here that shouldn't fucking be here. We're going to get rid of them. We're going to vote for that guy over there that says he's going to get rid of them. And then we do, and then they're just like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm like, bitch, you're fucking standing in the way of my vote now. You're fucking subverting the will of the people now. And I'm not fucking down with that. And they do this shit every fucking time. Every time a Republican wins the presidency, the left just goes fucking berserk. They're going to be out here torching shit and scaring the shit out of the country for the next 3 years, hoping that we'll have learned our lesson, right? And then we'll fucking allow a Democrat in because, you know, some Republicans will feel bad. Some Republicans will be scared. And so they maybe won't go vote next time. Also, Trump's not going to run this time, so there probably isn't going to be that big of a fucking, excitement for the vote, I think. Maybe not, There's a lot riding on this shit now. A hell of a lot. And I think people have woke up to that. And I can tell you as a veteran, if you actually give a fuck about anybody's service, you will vote. Like if you wanted to serve in the military and you couldn't, you go vote, because that's the best thing you can do next to that. Like, we sacrificed who we could have been, and a lot of guys didn't come back so that you guys would have the opportunity to do this, so you could have a say in your life. Now, motherfucker, have a say in your life. Stop letting these people fuck us over. Like, the midterms are coming up this year. You better get your asses out there and vote for it. You better get your asses out there and tell all your fucking friends to fucking be voting too. And if they say, oh, I don't really care, well, tell them what I just said, that as a veteran, I would greatly appreciate it, because all the freedoms, everything that I fought for is going to shit if we don't vote. And, I hate to say it, but with the way things are going, it may be too late to vote our way out of this shit. Like, I pay attention to what the left is saying, and right now they're saying wait till we get back in power. And then they're going to want to do what ICE is, what they think ICE is doing, they're going to want to do to us. I promise you, because I've been fucking reading them say it all fucking week. They've been telling me straight up in the comment sections that that's what they want. Like, the protesters are out there on the streets right now in Minneapolis in front of that ICE facility, telling the ICE agents and the cops that are coming out there to support the ICE agents that they're all going to prison and that they need to read a book and figure out, what side of history to be on. And I'm just like, dude, you guys are the fucking Nazis. The Democrats are the party of domestic terrorism and being a fucking Nazi. We saw it all through COVID, and I feel like we're seeing it now because, we thought in 2020 that the election was stolen. We really did. And for a couple of hours on one day, a few thousand people got a little unruly at the Capitol. They sure as fuck did. You know what? And they got arrested. A lot of them did like 3 years in fucking prison. And then Trump came along and said, you know what? I think that's probably long enough. Let's get these people up out of here. And so he let them the fuck out, But, like, these people out here fucking around, tearing the place up, you think they're going to get 3 years in fucking prison? Probably not. It's like they accused us of having an insurrection because for a couple of hours, we acted just like they are for the last 2 weeks now. And so I'm just like, when do they get charged? When do they get, all the same treatment that the right got? Because for all of Joe Biden's presidency, we were basically told that we were all insurrectionists. If you were any kind of Trump supporter at all, they're like, oh, you were definitely a January 6th then, right? And just the worst shit. And through COVID, they were the ones calling the cops on their fucking neighbors. They wanted to fucking look out their window, and if they saw a couple cars pulling up next door and then people going in there and having Thanksgiving dinner, oh, guess what? Boop, 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 boop. Oh, hello, masked police? Please go over and arrest all my neighbors for having a nice little fucking Thanksgiving dinner. Like, that's who they were, and they gleefully bragged about that shit. And now they're out here in the street. Oh, we can't have masked agents going around arresting people, going around arresting our neighbors. They're going after our neighbors. You motherfuckers went after your neighbors through COVID, and you didn't give a fuck. And then you told us that we all needed to get the jab. And if we didn't get the jab, we could just find another job, right? I don't understand why the fuck these people that are out there in the streets have a job, if they do. Like, people need to be going to their places of employment and protesting them until their place of employment says, you know what, you can't work here anymore because you're a liability to us. That's what it should fucking be. We should be going to their cocksucking fucking houses and protesting them right out in the street, right out in front of their fucking house. Fuck you, motherfuckers. That's where we should be with this shit. But we're not, you know. We're chill. We're going to sit here in our house. We're going to smoke some pot. I'm probably the craziest one out of all of us, and I'm just going to sit here and run my fucking mouth. But, you know, they keep pushing us. They push us to the point where we have to go outside. I don't think they're going to like it, because I don't think I'm going to be inclined to go out there and start yelling at people. I don't think I'm going to be about that. The KKK Act makes it illegal to threaten, hurt, or intimidate people to prevent them from exercising their God-given rights. Yeah, I think it might be called the FACE Act, Blaze, but I'm not sure. If it comes to your area, then you will handle it, but you ain't going to another state. Yeah, me neither. And I don't give a fuck about Minnesota. Like, this is what trips me out. These are the Minnesota Vikings, right? These people that live in Minnesota are all descendant of Vikings. Imagine their fucking ancestors who were actual Viking fucking conquerors looking at their fucking descendants sitting there fucking cucking down and giving a bunch of billions of dollars to actual Somali pirates. Like, imagine if in Norway, the Somalis just rolled up and just said, Durka Durka, give me your shit, motherfucker. And then they did it. Like, this is fucking bullshit. But yeah, it's pathetic, dude. The people of Minnesota are pathetic. Even the right-wing people, I think, are fucking pathetic for not going out there and standing up for the fucking members of that church yesterday, for letting people just getting their asses beat across the whole fucking city the other day. Like, it's fucking bullshit. It's time for veterans to stand the fuck up. And as a veteran, I think I've been sitting here waiting for somebody to fucking say it so that I'll fucking go do it. Well, guess what, bitches? It's time to fucking do something. If you live in Minnesota, it's past fucking time to go out there, probably with a nice clenched fist, and start smacking some fucking people in the head. Like, I've seen a couple guys going down there to these protests, and they're trying to have a debate with these people. And it always ends up the same way. They get the shit beat out of them. And I just think that's bullshit, dude. We shouldn't have individual one-man guy going into this fucking place. No way. There should be a group of 12 at least. There should be fucking 20 of yous. Where the fuck is everybody at? And that's where it pisses me off, that I guess there just ain't enough fucking dudes around there to fucking do something. Because please believe, if I lived in Minnesota, I'd be down there every fucking day. Yeah, I hope they go to fucking jail, dude. I really do. I hope Don Lemon in particular goes to jail. And you know what? He's going to love jail. Oh, he's going to love jail. Fucking Don. Don Lemon. What a character. What a lack of character. And he was in on that shit from the start. Like, he knew it was like a secret where that group was going, basically, to protest. And he was in on it. He knew. So he went with them, showed up, and was part of the whole thing. He's trying to act like he wasn't, but he was. The problem, Zombie Boss, is they keep saying shit like that. I see shit like that all the time, and it's like, we never see the actual charges, you know? Like, it's to the point where I don't want to know that there's an investigation happening. I don't want to know that they're considering charges. I don't want to know that. I just want to know when they're charging them. Because we all know, like, that's the thing.
Yeah. I'm not blaming you for telling me or anything like that, and that it's fine. I think it's the only information we've got to go with right now. But it irritates me as well that they keep saying that, you know, and then we never see anybody get in trouble for shit. Like Hillary and Bill Clinton need to go to fucking jail for the Clinton files, you know. They're gonna release the Clinton files, and we're gonna look at fucking 500 pictures of Bill Clinton doing things to little kids, and hoping we can find one of Trump. And if we don't find one of Trump, then I guess we'll just shelve the rest of it because it doesn't matter. What's up, Duttons? Fucking A, man. I'm just tending to my fire in my fireplace. Look, I don't know if I've broke this down for you guys. I don't know if you'll hear me say it because they probably don't want you to. The whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein was that he was a management level guy he was working doing an operation where the government was purposely creating dirt on people so that they could control them as much as they want going into the future. So anybody of any kind of influence, whether it was a musician, an actor, some sort of, you know, athlete or celebrities, whatever, politicians, all of them, they all got invited to all these parties. And it wasn't just Epstein that was trying to get dirt on these people, right? Exactly. It's controlled blackmail. And I believe, and I've believed this since 2016, that they tried to do it to Trump and he wouldn't go along with it. And they knew then that they couldn't control him. And so they've tried every other means to take him down. And they couldn't do it. They just simply couldn't fucking do it. And, you know, this became really obvious to me in 2016 when I simply watched Trump talk one night for about an hour and a half. And then I watched the news that night, and they took what he had said and they had cut out a lot of the key words and made it look like he said something that he didn't actually say. And then they just kept doing that for the whole time he was in office. The media wouldn't report what Trump said in the way that he would say it. They would twist his words to make him say shit. Like just here recently with BBC News and fucking the UK, they're going to get sued for billions of dollars by Trump because they flat out edited his speech and they used AI to put in words that he didn't even fucking say. Just to convince the world, oh yeah, because apparently he, you know, they're trying to say that he incited violence on January 6th, and he fucking didn't. But yeah, dude, it's just fucking crazy. And that's basically it, right? Like the whole Epstein thing is, it's always been this big blackmail control thing. They definitely got Bill Clinton. They got fucking Obama's ass. They got fucking Biden. Basically anybody that goes out there and just compromises themselves and says some shit that we know isn't true, like a lot of these actors and shit, a lot of the fucking pundits on the news, whenever they say that shit and we know it's not true, it's because the government has something on them that they've probably created via Epstein or Diddy or whoever the fuck else they had doing this shit. Why do you think Diddy didn't get a whole bunch of time? Because the government's not going to charge somebody with a crime for the job they were making them do. You know, and this goes back to the deep state. You know, you guys ever heard of it? Like, ask if any leftist today brings up the Epstein list, ask them about the deep state, because they'll still deny that shit. You know, there's basically, like, I think the intelligence services and the military took over our government coming out of World War II. And ever since then, they have only allowed the people that they think they can trust to be into power. And that's it. Anybody else that comes along and jeopardizes their power, like JFK. JFK didn't want to go to war in Vietnam. That was the whole thing with him. He refused to send troops into Vietnam. And so they said, you got to go, sir. And they killed his ass. And then 2 weeks later, we invaded Vietnam. And it's all about that money, right? It's the military industrial complex. They want politicians that will create war. Then, when we fight the war, the military industrial complex makes a shitload of money. Then they use that money to buy more politicians. The politicians they buy create more war, and the cycle repeats itself. And at some point, they manage to buy out everyone. They also own the media. Most of the people you see on the nightly news are either former or current agents of some three-letter agency. Like Anderson Cooper, he's former, I think, FBI or CIA, and I think a lot of them are. And, and it's their job to propagandize us. That's their whole fucking mission. But yeah, it's fucking crazy shit, And then we get Trump, who comes along in 2015, announces he's going to run for president, and they immediately start smearing his ass. And I thought the same shit everybody else thought. I thought, oh, this rich guy's going to come in and use the office to just get rich. That I said it. I said it to Callie the day she told me that Trump was going to run for office. And then I thought, though, maybe if he has a chance of winning, I better figure out what he actually believes in, right? And so I started watching his speeches that night, and then maybe in the coming nights after that, because he was doing rallies and shit. And the things that he was saying really resonated with me. He was talking about how a couple decades ago you only needed one parent worth of income to support a household, and now it's two parents working their asses off and they can barely make ends meet. That echoed in my mind really well, because that's been my experience my whole adult life. It's fucking tough. You can't make enough money to do shit. Daycare costs fucking half of one parent's income, and you got to have that to have both parents working. And it's just, it feels like we'd be better off sitting in a house doing fucking Little House on the Prairie shit, but we're stuck in this fucking consumer-driven fucking slave to your job fucking system. And Trump was talking about how things used to be different, and how we were thriving, and how there was a lot of big business here in the States, And over the decades, both sides of the aisle had forced the labor out of this country and forced all the like manufacturing jobs and shit to leave the U.S. because taxes were too high. If it costs too much for a company to make shit here, they'll go over there and make it. That's just the way it is. So we got to have the taxes low so that the corporations can afford to make shit here cheaper than they can over there, or else they'll go over there. But they'll sit there and swear till they're blue in the face that trickle-down economics doesn't work. But it works so well that we can do it for 4 years and then let them just waste all our money for 4 years, and then we get back in the saddle and do it some more, and it just continues to work. It keeps us afloat, and it works that good that we can afford to have these idiots get in half the time and just blow our fucking money on bullshit. But they want to insist, oh no, your guys' way doesn't work. Our way works. We need to increase taxes to the point where everybody just with any kind of wealth leaves the country. And then we'll just keep fucking taxing everybody else until nobody has anything. And then, you really won't need anything because we'll give you everything you need. You can trust me. We'll give you everything you need. Like, the government is not going to give you everything you fucking need. fire's being weird now. Probably because I'm looking at it. It's still going pretty good. I don't know if the piece I threw in there was not quite fully dry, but it's not wanting to burn. Like the piece on top there. Maybe I'm taking all the oxygen out of the air by ranting so much. Yeah. Probably. But yeah, it's frustrating, you guys. And as a vet, I'm sitting here getting stressed out every fucking day because I think we might end up in a civil war. And if we do, I know that I am expected to fight. Not most of you. Most of you won't. But I know that I'm fucking expected to. And so, you know, it's just a little bothersome sitting here looking at a war. Imagine if you had somebody wanting to fight you, you know, when you got home from work or some shit. Like, just thinking about that all day. Like, and you're just kind of dreading it. Even if you're going to win the fight, you still know you got a fight that you got to deal with when you get home. You know, and that's the way I feel about it. We got a fight coming. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want it to be a fight like that. But I see it coming. And it's got me pretty goddamn stressed out. I wish these people who think they care about everybody would consider what they're doing to the veterans of this country with this bullshit. But they don't. Almost broke my window there with my poker. Let Charlie in. Well, watch your head there, Jolly. Okay. Hi. I missed you. We didn't see each other for 45 minutes. I know. Oh my goodness. Oh. What are you doing? You're upside down. You floppy-eared bitch. Hey. You don't even have to jump. I'm right here. She's like, what is this tripod thing? It's freaking me out. Her and Charlie. She doesn't even have a hold of that toy. He's just fucking with her, trying to get her to take it, but she can't get a hold of it. Oh, she got a hold of it. You guys are tearing up the rug. Yeah, he does think he's big. Until she starts pulling him across the floor. Charlie, I think that's her toy. She's gonna get that toy from you. He's like, fuck that. Oh, Charlie got it. Charlie's the champion. Molly's like, fuck that. Don't say that. The fire's going nicely now. I need to get that dog bed off the side of the fireplace. Oh, you get your couch, dog. You get your up on the couch, dog. Up. Your breath smells like poop. Get it out of here. What are you doing out there? Are you licking your butt? He's like, yeah, get that. What are you doing, fucking Scooby-Doo? And Charlie, too. Radiant Times, you're watching from North Korea? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're probably watching from your creepy uncle's basement. Look at this plant, though. It starts there, and it goes all the way up like that. And then it goes
Well, there's one little vine that kind of goes up into the ceiling over that way. And then there's one that comes up out of that potter. Some of the leaves died on it. I don't know why. And it goes all the way over here. To the end of the window. To the wall. Oh yeah, I need to look at my other plants over here. We've got my aloe that is just going crazy. It's kicking butts. We've got this pitcher plant. I don't see any pitchers on it. Well, maybe. Where are we at? On the end of that stalk right there is a little one. Like right there at the end of my finger. And then this next one has like that big one you can see underneath the little one there. And then there's another one right there. That little guy. Like this one, let me rotate this so you can see. You can see how that pitcher's got like a little trap hatch on the top of it, right? I'm pretty sure if something goes down in there, that thing will seal up. And then this is another one. It's very similar. It looks like grass, but it does the same thing with pitchers at the ends of some of these. So where it looks brown, those are actually like trap doors as well. And then up here, you got my Venus fly trap, which sometimes after it's ate a fly, the arm that does the eating just dies, which that one, let's see, we get down a little bit. See this one right here, it's kind of dead. But the rest of it's kicking ass. And there's a whole shitload of little fly traps in the middle there that will eventually get as large as the rest of it. And probably I would say in March, maybe April, it'll grow a stalk. Oh, that was my foot. It'll grow a stalk that'll grow about this tall and produce a bunch of little flowers on the top. It's really cool. And this is Callie's little jararium. We put a hunk of soil in there and some water, and we just leave it closed, and it's its own little ecosystem in there. An old cookie jar. And what are these two doing? No, get back to playing. I'm just watching. I had to shock these dogs 1,000 times to get them to play like this. Just kidding. I'm not Hassan Piker. A fucking monster. I am thirsty though. And my phone's at 16%, so have a good one, you guys. I'll see you later. I'll be live with some Stardew in a little bit.